Entertainment news. Dakota announces she will marry Jamie. That morning began like any other morning in Dakota's 17th floor apartment. Thin sunlight streamed through the curtains, the coffee maker hummed, and the smell of slightly burnt toast filled the air. But just hours later, everything in her life would take a completely different turn. Dakota stood before the mirror, neatly tying back her hair. She wore minimal makeup, just a light foundation and pale lipstick. She didn't look like a star about to create a media sensation, but rather like an ordinary woman preparing to go out for breakfast. Jamie appeared behind her, placing his hand on her shoulder, his voice warm and deep. "Are you sure?" Dakota looked into his eyes through the mirror. She nodded. "I think it's time." Jamie said nothing more. He understood that the time Dakota spoke of wasn't just about their relationship, but also about her readiness to face the world, a world that had never stopped scrutinizing her. Dakota took out her phone and opened social media. The picture had been chosen the night before, two hands intertwined, faces hidden, no ostentation. Only a simple ring on her finger, glinting in the yellow light. She typed a single line. "Jamie and I are getting married." No emojis, no explanation, no date promised. Dakota pressed post. She didn't know that, in just a few minutes, the entire entertainment industry would be shaken. 1. The first wave. 10 minutes later, Dakota's phone buzzed with notifications. Entertainment news sites began running headlines. Dakota unexpectedly announces marriage. The private star officially ties the ties. Who is Jamie, the man who will become Dakota's husband? Fan groups erupted in debate. Some rejoiced, some were shocked, some were disappointed. Dakota watched the comments flood in like a torrent. She didn't read them all. She'd learned one thing in years in the spotlight: reading too much makes you forget who you are. Jamie poured more coffee and set the cup down on the table. "I guess the big news will be in about 20 minutes. Dakota chuckled softly. "I bet 15. They looked at each other, their smiles a mix of amusement and unease. 2. Behind the scenes of a good news. At a major entertainment newsroom, Lynn, a young reporter, was typing non-stop. "Confirmed," the editor said quickly. 5 minutes to run. The headline has to be strong enough. Entertainment news. Dakota announces she will marry Jamie. "Should we dig deeper into Jamie's private life?" Lynn asked. The editor thought for a second. "Yes, but be careful. Dakota doesn't like being invaded. Don't overdo it." In this industry, everyone knows Dakota is different from many other stars. She's famous but not flashy. No scandals, no ostentation. Because of that, every move she makes becomes an event. And her marriage, that's the biggest event of all. 3. Jamie, the man behind the spotlight. While the media is trying to categorize Jamie with fitting labels, businessman, outsider, mystery boyfriend, Jamie is sitting on his balcony, looking down at the cars. He's not used to being named in the newspapers. Jamie met Dakota 4 years ago at a small art exhibition. No one recognized her because she was wearing a hat, glasses, and looked quite ordinary. Jamie once said, "I loved you before I knew you were famous." Dakota isn't entirely sure that's true, but she believes he loves her for who she is, not her on-screen persona. Jamie didn't propose to Dakota with fireworks or a fancy restaurant. He simply presented the ring on a rainy evening, while they were in the middle of cooking. "I don't promise you a perfect life," Jamie said, "but I promise to stay, even when things aren't perfect." Dakota cried, and nodded. 4. Public reaction. By noon, the news had flooded every platform. Fans were divided. Those who had followed Dakota from the beginning, they were happy, seeing this as a happy ending. Those who associated Dakota with the image of a strong single woman, they were regretful. Those who were simply curious, They dug deeper. If she's married, can she still act in romantic movies? Does Jamie deserve Dakota? Is this just a PR stunt? Dakota read a few comments like that. She turned off her phone. Are you okay? Jamie asked. Dakota rested her head on his shoulder. I'm not sad. I just feel strange. Like my life was announced before I even had a chance to live it. Jamie hugged her tighter. We're still living. It's just that there are more people watching. 5. A call from Mom. That afternoon, Dakota received a call from her mother. Honey, her mother's voice was a mix of joy and worry. I just saw the news. Dakota smiled. What did you think? I'm happy, she said truthfully. But I also know you don't like the fuss. Are you prepared? Dakota looked out the window. I think I've been prepared my whole life. Her mother was silent for a moment, then said, just be happy. Let them say what they want. Dakota closed her eyes. Some of her mother's words always came at the right time. 6. The invisible pressure. In the days that followed, Dakota began to feel the pressure of being a celebrity about to get married. Interview invitations poured in. Offers for exclusive wedding photoshoots. Repeated questions. Are you afraid marriage will affect your career? Dakota largely declined. She only agreed to a short interview, on one condition: no questions about private matters. During the interview, when asked, why did you decide to announce it now? Dakota calmly replied, because I don't want to hide my happiness. That quote became a viral one. 7. The night before the storm. One evening, Dakota sat alone in her living room. Jamie was away on a short business trip. The house was quieter than usual. She reopened her first post. Over 1 million likes. Great discussion. Dakota suddenly thought back to the years before, when she was young, still believing that success would automatically make a comeback. Now she understood. Success transforms the shape of the cage. But Jamie had chosen the most important key for her. She smiled, locked her phone, and automatically thought, I don't need to prove anything anymore. 8. A wedding without media coverage. Finally, Dakota and Jamie announced one more brief piece of information. The wedding would be small, private, and not broadcast to the media. The public erupted again. Too secretive. Disrespectful to the fans. A star getting married like an ordinary person? Dakota read it and didn't respond. The wedding took place in a small garden. No red carpet, no camera flashes, just family, a few close friends, and the sound of the wind. Dakota walked over to Jamie, her hand trembling slightly. Jamie looked at her, his gaze steady. I'm still here, he whispered. Dakota smiled. She knew. 9. Behind the spotlight. A week after the wedding, the media shifted to another topic. The entertainment industry always needs new news. Dakota returned to the set. One member jokingly asked, what does it feel like to be someone else's wife? Dakota laughed, not much different from being myself. And that was true. Marriage didn't change the person. It just gave her another headline. 10. The real good news. Months later, when recalling the day Dakota announced her marriage, people still called it good news in the entertainment industry. But for Dakota, the real good news wasn't in the headlines. It was in the quiet mornings. Having someone make her coffee at work. Not having to pretend to be happy at work, but living in happiness. And this time, whether the world saw it or not, Dakota knew. She had made the right choice.